It's part 4 and things are getting good. We've decided, we've set up, and now it's time to run. This is a stage where notebooks actually become a classroom staple or they die in a drawer. We're going to talk about how exactly to run a whole unit. And don't forget, my free planning guide is in my bio if you want to follow along. I'm going to use our weathering, erosion, and deposition unit as my example for you. So you're going to need a unit page of some kind with a tab. You can make your own. I also have a lot of different options available in my TPT store. I also like to have the learning targets so kids know what they're going to learn, and then I just walk them through the KW. Now, in terms of what goes in the notebook for the unit, you need to think back to your philosophy. Are you going to be somebody who just puts everything in here, which is what I do, or do you want this all to be student created work? Do you just want it to be foldables and notes? So you really need to go back to that step if you haven't done that yet and think about what is your philosophy for your notebook. So here are 2 things that we tape in, and if you missed it in one of the previous videos, I talk about why I prefer tape instead of glue. So here I have some teacher provided fill in the blank notes and then also a reading. Here is an example of some student taken notes. So these are from some Edpuzzle videos that they watched. And here is an example of a lab that we did in class where they shook up some rocks. I have the follow-up questions in here, and we put all of our labs in the notebook. Here is another quick lab that we did where we made a glacier out of an ice cube. And so there was just a few observations for them to do and some more student created notes here. And here we have a card sort with weathering, erosion, and deposition examples. And then here is a fun activity that the student did, and they made a cartoon about weathering, erosion, and deposition. And so this brings me to what I think is an important resource that can help you in your units, and that is these activity cards that I have. So this is one of the stations and one of the things that goes in the front of the notebook, and there's all these different activities explained. And so sometimes when we have a topic and I don't have a specific output idea that I want them to do to process the information, I just have them choose one of these and they do it in their notebook. And this is really fast and really convenient, and it's fun to give kids a choice. And then the way that we wrap up every unit was with a test tracker. And this is something that I don't have on TPT because it's really specific to my test, but I have them go through every question and I have it organized by topic, and they're able to see if they struggled on anything or if they understood the targets. And then we also go back to the KWL and complete the L to end the unit. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what kinds of things to put in a unit. So now you know how to run a unit, but what happens when it starts to fall apart? Because guess what? It will. Not every student is going to be able to keep up with everything. You're going to have a lost notebook every once in a while. And really the difference is going to be, have you thought through those things ahead of time? So the last video is going to be how to sustain this long-term without losing your mind. I'm also going to include what I do about grading, because that is a whole journey.